welcome to The Boiling Point. I'm Richie Ware, and this is Alex Taylor. Now, Alex is an account rep in our rental division, and first thing, Happy New Year, excited for 2024. I kind of feel like the Christmas story here. I'm going to stick my tongue on it.
I triple dog dare you.
Yeah, right. So anyway, we are talking about condensate return today. We are actually in one of our mobile DAs. Why don't you, first of all, just tell a little bit about the mobile DA real quick,
Sure.
and then talk about what we're going to talk about today.
Okay, well this is an 80,000 pound per hour mobile deaerator. It has a water softener built in, it has your deaerator tank itself, and it has your feed pumps to actually feed your boiler. So you get everything in one enclosed system. That way you're not having to heat trace and insulate everything that's out, that's all over the place with a normal DA skid.
Right.
So this gets you everything in one nice little package that you can pull up, drop, hook up, and get your larger boilers online.
Awesome. So you get some feed water from the deaerator, obviously, and maybe real quick, what does a deaerator do?
Okay, so as a refresher, a deaerator does two main things. One, we're trying to preheat the water that's going to the boiler. Just like you don't want to take a hot pan and throw it in cold water, we don't want to throw cold water into a hot boiler. So we're trying to preheat that by taking some of the boiler's steam and using it to preheat water. The second thing that we're trying to do is we really want to make sure we get out the excess oxygen that's dissolved in the water. Basically, water comes super saturated with a little bit too much oxygen, and so that oxygen can pit the inside of steel, whether in the deaerator, in the feed water lines, or into the boiler itself and the rest of the system.
Yes.
So these DAs help to scrub out that excess oxygen as well.
Awesome, awesome. So steam is in the system, and we have condensate that forms, right? And so we're going to be talking about condensate return today, and so maybe go from there.
Okay, so a reason why we have to deal with condensate is because as steam goes through the system, it's going to give up its heat, especially if we're talking about a closed loop here. So it's giving up its heat and it recondenses back into water. We take that water and we've got to do something with it. Now you can dump it if you've got a temperature rated drain, and a lot of times if it's a really temporary application, the cost of piping all that condensate back to somewhere might be more expensive than just dumping it.
Okay.
But if it's a long-term application or a permanent facility, you're going to want to recover that because that water's already been chemically treated for your boiler system. It's already been partially deaerated, at least at that point. It's gone through once.
Right.
And it's hot, so you're recovering that heat. It's a lot more efficient to bring that back.
Okay.
But when you bring it back, you have to be careful about how you do that. Not all condensate is equal, and you get it differently from different processes. So when that condensate comes back, if you're not careful about where you send it, you can get some problems.
And what I love about talking with Alex and any of the rental guys, of course, is that they see so many different applications, and a lot of people are asking questions or actually even set things up, and then it's wrong. So that's really what we want to talk about today.
Yes.
And we need to go outside and let's look at the connection sizes.
Yep, let's go look at the connections.
All right. Now, Alex, as we come around to the side of the trailer here, one of the things I know on something we do is we really try to make it simple for everyone and get all of the connection sizes on one side of the trailer. So I know we start obviously with our city water inlet, of course, and then we have our soft water return. Of course, this is where the steam inlet is at.
Yep.
A DA trap drain, and then this is really what we're wanting to talk about, and that is the return, right? So this is a high temp return. Maybe.
Yep. So this is where we're going to bring our high temperature and condensate return. Now the high temperature, when we say that, we mean any temperature that's above the operating temperature and pressure of the DA.
Okay.
So anything basically that's going to flash into steam immediately. And where this actually goes is it actually mixes in with where the steam comes into the deaerator. Now if you're designing one for a new facility, it's important to make sure that you're not bringing back so much return that you overwhelm what the DA can actually handle with flashing steam. But this is basically so high pressure that we're going to mix it back in essentially where the steam inlet comes in and use that to help preheat everything. So that's where that usually goes.
Okay.
And then one of the things about it too, with that high temperature return, is if it's too high temperature and pressure for the DA to handle, you may need a surge tank or something else, or a flash tank, to handle that condensate that's coming back.
Right.
Because if it's too high temperature or pressure, you could overpressure the DA. And the DA system is more than just the tank. We've got pumps to consider too. So if we're in a situation where we're running really high temperature back and we don't put it to this high temperature return, what'll happen is we're going to overheat that tank, and instead of running our tank at our normal 227 degrees, which is what we run ours at, we could run up to over 250, 300 degrees. And if that happens, the seals on our pump are not good for that kind of temperature. So the pumps will cavitate and fail, and the seals will fail on them.
Okay.
And we don't want to cavitate pumps. We don't want to blow the seals. We want these things to operate normally. So getting the condensate to the right connection is critical.
Right. And so In a permanent application, do we typically have all these different types of high temp, medium temp?
So typically what will happen is you're going to have, on a tray type deaerator, you'll have your low temperature and your high temperature returns. With the spray type deaerators that we use for the smaller space, those actually have a medium and low temperature return as well. And we can look at those connections and talk about how those actually factor in to the process as well.
Right, okay. So slide back, obviously we've got our DA tank drain.
Yep.
And then we go to medium temp return and low temp return.
Okay, so we talked about our high temperature returns. The medium temperature return is going to be basically up to the operating pressure and 30 degrees below. So the 30 degree below our normal 227 operating temperature is going to be 197. So any condensate that's coming back between 197 degrees and 227 degrees, it's a sweet spot that goes back into your medium temperature return.
Okay.
You typically don't have that on your tray types, but on your spray types you definitely do.
Okay.
On the low temperature return, this is anything under that 197 degree.
Right.
So if you're really using a heat exchanger or something in your process is taking all that heat out and you're getting low temperature condensate by the time it gets back, this is where it goes. Now the medium temperature return basically just dumps into the body of the tank. The low temperature return actually goes in between where our makeup water, our city water inlet goes in,
right,
and the tank, and it's going to get preference. So your makeup valve isn't going to open and bring in fresh untreated water until this thing has basically gone to the point where it's not going to give you enough water.
Right.
So it's only opening as needed. That way we're prioritizing already hot, already treated water.
Okay.
So that's where it goes in. That low temperature return, you'll see that, like I said, on all the spray types and the tray types, but not the medium temperature return is not something you'll see as much on the tray types.
Right.
That being said, we also have to consider the size of these connections.
Right.
So when you look at an existing deaerator in a field, all of these are engineered, and usually they're told, hey, I'm going to be bringing back X percentage of condensate return to this tank, and that's what the tank is designed for. If you're bringing back more condensate than that deaerator is designed to handle, again, you're going to have to do something else with it, whether it's dump it, send it to a surge tank to handle, whatever that may be. It's important for our rental applications that we know how much condensate's coming back so we can determine where we're actually going to send it, what the temperature and pressure is going to be, and whether we can handle it. A lot of people don't just have the boiler contributing to condensate. They'll have other processes dumping into a common condensate connection.
Sure.
And we don't want to slug this thing with all of that condensate that we can't handle.
Right.
Our units we try to design for either 100% makeup, so if it's a temporary application, they want to dump the condensate and not use any of that, we can handle that, or 100%, not quite 100%, you have losses, but most of your condensate coming back. We want to be able to be flexible to handle either situation.
Got it, got it. So deaerators are obviously not just kind of, hey, let's just put some water in and we'll get some hot water out, and there's a lot more that actually goes into this.
We would love for it to be that simple, but that's why it's important to have knowledgeable personnel handling the situation, especially in the case of a rental or when you're designing a unit. You need to work with someone who knows what they're doing, because if you send the wrong temperature condensate to the wrong connection, you can have problems with that. You can lose efficiency, and worst case scenario, you can make a safety issue.
Yeah. Absolutely. So a lot of great information there, probably so much that you might need to watch this thing a couple times, which is awesome. So if you're not familiar with the deaerators, of course. So Alex, always a pleasure to be with you, and thanks for all the information. We'll see you next time on The Boiling Point. Well, awesome information, and again, lots of information. And again, if you want to know a little bit more, our Boiler University is awesome to be able to go to. Make sure you sign up for those classes and learn a little bit about deaerators. Now, we are going to be in Chicago at ASHRAE coming up on the 22nd, 23rd, and the 24th of January. So we are really close and excited. Make sure you come by, get a t-shirt from us. And also, Boiler 2024, mark your calendars, May 1 through the 3rd. We'd love to see, again, free t-shirts when we are at trade shows. Like us on Facebook, maybe share a video, but hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Always appreciate you hanging out with us. We'll see you next time on The Boiling Point.